Welcome back, YouTube. Welcome back. Well, before we get started, you already know my rules. Take your shoes off, come in, shut the door, kick back, and get ready for one of these prison funny stories. Which this one right here, it takes me back to Staten Correctional Facility. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because it's funny because muscles, karate, and that's the title, Kung Fu Karate, dojo, Kung Fu in prison. They picked it up while they was in prison. They didn't take it on the street. They learned from whoever they learned. But it's a funny story, so I know y'all gonna enjoy it. And it was at Staten Correctional Facility. And I'm gonna tell you something, you get these guys that walk around on the weight pile, I'm talking about lifting the whole weight pile, and they can't fight a lick. But the thing is to get big and muscle to scare you away, to keep the bees from swarming on you. But sometimes it don't work, your card get pulled. As they say, your card, checkmate. But at Staten, it was this guy. We called him Karate Joe. And Karate Joe, he didn't bother nobody. He would always be out there demonstrating his kicks, his shenanigans, his dragon claw, the talents of an eagle, butterfly kicks, spinning roundhouses, 6 to 2-inch punch. He'll display all this while people out there jogging and working out. He got this punching bag like thing, and he'd be over there just going away on it. I'm talking about really getting down, and because like when you out on a prison yard, it's gonna be like multiple people watching you, seeing what you got. If you got it on display like in a store, if you want to sell it. And trust me, you do have some buyers that will buy what you're selling. So, Kung Fu Joe, like I said, he out there jumping in the air, spinning. It looked good. His display looks good. But they got a saying, when the rubber hit the road, what do you do then? Okay. We going on, moving on. So, Kung Fu Joe out there putting his demonstration down for the get down. So, you got somebody that gotta test the water with Kung Fu Joe. I can't think of this dude's name to save my life. I can't think of his name. But he wasn't no real big fella. He was nice size. But how it sparked off, we was in the dorm. And when you in prison, you can always tell, like, if something's finna go on, if something to transpire, you can always tell because it kind of get quiet. Like if a rod or anything pop up, you can just feel it in the air. It kind of get quiet. Yeah, it's just that tension, it builds up, and you can just, it's something that you have to be there to understand and know exactly what I'm talking about. But getting back to the story, Kung Fu Joe. Now, we're like Staten, they have like the big giant dorm, which would consist on like, don't let me lie to you. It would consist on like, I want to say 100 people maybe. So, and you got two areas, like the part where you sleep at, and then outside of that is like the TV area where you go watch TV, play dominoes, whatever you do. You got that area up there. So it happened in the TV area. You like have like if you got a benchmarker, you put like this piece of paper down on your seat or your pillow. So won't no one sit there. But everybody know that this certain spot up here is where Kung Fu Joe sit. This is his spot. So we moving on. The dude, I can't think of it. I'm gonna call him Black. I want to say he was out of Chamber County. He gets in Kung Fu Joe's spot. And we all know in prison, that's a no-go. You don't do that. You don't get in no one spot, because you get in someone's spot and they come there, they're nice and say, hey man, that's my seat. Could you mind getting up? Now, if it's a good show on, you be like, man, ain't nobody got no seats. That's what the normal youngster would do. It's not out of, they ain't respecting anything. That's the normal youngster. 9 times out of 10, if he ain't got no respect, he gonna buck. You know, like, hand your pillow, man, here, take this, man. Ain't no spots in there, saving no spots, man, when you getting ready to, you know what I'm saying? I've been sitting here watching this, and all of a sudden, you gonna pull up, talking about, let me get my spot. It don't work that way. So, Kung Fu Joe asked him, hey, young, let me get this spot. He said, looked up at him. And this is what I talk about when he get quiet. You tell something to pop off. Looked up at him. He said, man, ain't no spots in here, dude. My boy had some shit he said to him. Kung Fu Joe said, man, everybody in here know I've been sitting here for years. This is why I sit here. He said, I ain't got nothing to do with that, man. And leaned up and handed him his pillow. When he handed him his pillow, Kung Fu Joe, he said, man, I'm going to ask you nicely to get up out my seat. If you don't get up out my seat, I'm going to have to remove you. By the time he said, I'm going to ask you nicely to get up out my seat, and if you don't get up out my seat, I'm going to remove you. Youngster came up out the seat like in one motion. Yow, throwing him. Kung Fu Joe trying to break down in the stance. Youngster throwing them like them combos at him. Kung Fu Joe doing something like this, before you know it, youngster went down, grabbed his bottom of his pants leg, snatched him to him. And they got a thing they call a rap. When he snatched him to him, it's like he did a ballerina spin in the air. Bam! Kung Fu Joe head slapped back on the pavement. Youngster served him about 4 more shots before one of them old timers grabbed him and broke it up. It was funny if you seen it, because all the demonstration of Kung Fu doing spin kicks, punches, eagle claws, all that karate stuff that he knew, it went out the window. That's why I laugh at like guys that be like, oh man, you don't want no part of this. But like I said, when the rubber hit the road, you'll actually see what someone really made of. In Kung Fu Joe, all that demonstration that he put out, it went out the window. He forgot the tiger claw, the eagle talent. He forgot all that. went out the window. So I wanted to share that with y'all, man. I done gave y'all my 10, man. So you know I'm out. Peace.